Part D, writing. Add details. Yes. Editing nouns and noun modifiers. Study the errors and then pay attention to the areas that you make mistakes in and try to avoid them. 1. Use of non-count nouns. If you see a sentence like this, I have followed her researches with great interest. Researches, oh, we don't say that. We use research as a non-count noun. Now, the difference between research and studies is that research is non-count, her research, but the word studies is a countable noun. So you have to count everything, then you can use a study, many studies. But if you're thinking of all of the studies as a group, you can say her research. Number 2, use of compound nouns and modifiers. On the way to work, I stopped at a shoes store. Oops, don't put an S on shoes. Take that off and say shoe, because shoe modifies store, and like all other adjectives in English, they're singular. The shoe store. For example, many apples grow on the tree. It is an apple tree. Singular apple tree. There are many apple trees. You can make the head noun, the core noun, the key noun, plural. Number 2, the second one says, I want to show you a picture of my 5 years old son. Oops. Take off the S and say my 5-year-old son. If we want to say my son is 5 years old, then we use the plural noun years. But when we say my son, we need to make it an adjective, a compound modifier, 5-year-old, singular. Number 3, subject-verb agreement. For the first one, collective noun, they told us that that group were waiting for us in the lab. Group. That means a lot of people, right? Yes, you're right, but it is a singular noun. So let's use a singular verb. The group was waiting. Non-count noun. Mathematics are a difficult subject for many people. Oops. Mathematics ends with ICS. And this word is singular. It's a non-count noun, which is always singular. It's never plural. So we have to use a singular verb. Mathematics is a difficult subject. Physics is an interesting subject. Economics is important. All right, now noun plus prepositional phrase. The gang of thieves are still at large. Oops. The word is gang. That is the head word. That's the main word. Of thieves is a prepositional phrase that modifies gang. The gang is still at large, which means they haven't been caught yet. Okay, let's go to the noun plus and or plus noun. Education and crime is the big issues of this political campaign. Well, we've got 2 non-count nouns, education and crime. Since we've got 2 of them, we need to use a plural verb. Education and crime are the big issues of this political campaign. All right, so watch out for those types of errors in your own writing. In exercise D1, editing, read the paragraph and correct the errors in this passage. For example, a local conservation team have received a 3 years grant. Oh, I see a couple mistakes there already. The first one is marked for you. Team, singular. Use the verb has. Finish correcting the errors in this passage, and then check your answers with the answer key. Now, let's go beyond the sentence. Avoiding repetition using pronouns and synonyms. Writers often use pronouns and synonyms to avoid repetition and to maintain clarity. Clarity is a noun that belongs to the same family as clear. Write clear, clearly. Write with clarity. All right, first paragraph says, people pay attention when your hobby is stamp collecting. Everyone gets involved in your pastime. They make special trips to the local post office for you when they visit other countries. A stamp is an easy gift to bring back to someone. Or even better, it can be just sent home on a postcard. There's no additional charge for shipping. It's included in the price of a stamp. All right, you see the word people. That's the first word. That's the topic. So pronouns can replace previously mentioned nouns to avoid repetition, and this is done when it's clear what noun is being referred to. People, and then everyone, and then they. How about the word stamp? A stamp, and then use it. How about shipping? Use it the next time. All right, let's take a look at the next paragraph. The best part about being a stamp collector is you can call yourself a philatelist. This is just another way of saying stamp collector, but it sounds more impressive. My favorite philatelist was my father. He tried to get me to collect when I was young, but I wasn't interested in it. It wasn't interesting to me then. Only after I inherited his 4 large binders of stamps did I realize the value of his hobby. My father's treasured notebooks have stamps from all over the world. When you look at the stamps, you can see not only personal memories of trips taken, but also history. This writer also uses synonym pairs, stamp collectors, philatelist, binders of stamps, notebooks, in order to avoid repetition. Now, do not overuse pronouns. In this sentence, the writer repeats the stamps instead of saying them. Otherwise, the reader would not know if the pronoun stands for notebooks, which is the previous noun, or stamps, and it refers to stamps, which was mentioned before a few other nouns. D2, using pronouns and synonyms. It asks you to read the news items, rewrite the paragraphs, and replace the underlying expressions with appropriate pronouns or synonyms. Number 1, the corporation's plan to develop a huge section of downtown is moving forward because the City Council approved the corporation's plan, saying that the section of downtown was in urgent need of improvement. Well, let's not repeat the same phrase. We can say the corporation's plan to develop a huge section of downtown is moving forward because the City Council approved it, saying that the area was in urgent need of improvement. So you see the word it, that's a pronoun. And you see the phrase the area, that's a shorter phrase which is synonymous with the section of downtown. Try the rest yourself and then check the answer key. Exercise D3, write. Adding details. Adding details to your writing enables you to explain ideas more clearly and to paint a more vivid picture for your reader. This engages the reader and makes your writing more interesting. Choose one of the topics to write a short essay of 150 to 175 words. Use details to explain how you feel about the topic. Then use the writing checklist to check your work. Everyone has a favorite hobby or pastime. For some, it's a sport, and for others, an area of study or a creative art. Write about a hobby or interest you have. Explain the different materials or equipment you use, how you do it, and what makes it interesting. pay attention to nouns and noun modifiers. Or take the next one. Machines often make our lives easier. If you could invent a new machine to make your life easier, what would it be and why? Explain your invention. What are the different parts of your machine? Why is it useful? What materials is it made out of? What does it look like? Again, pay attention to your nouns and noun modifiers. Then use the writing checklist. Did you capitalize all proper nouns? Did you check for subject-verb agreement with nouns? Did you use plurals correctly with compound nouns and modifiers? Did you use synonyms and pronouns to avoid repetition? Did you use pronouns and antecedents clearly? Did you add details to your writing? If so, you're ready to submit it. Beyond the classroom, here are some other topics. There's a saying, there's a solution for every problem. You might want to describe, in detail, a problem that exists in the world today. What do you feel are the causes of the problem? What do you think is the solution to this problem? Who needs to be involved in the solution to make it work? 2. We often go through life without really looking at things. We may walk past certain places every day, but never really notice that they're there. On your way home today, find something that you have paid little attention to in the past. This time, stop and look at it. What do you see? Try to describe it in complete detail. What does it feel like? In other words, describe it. Modify it. Use your noun modifiers to modify the nouns.